Hello. Recently I picked up a vintage Jeep director set, and I have only one of these lenses here. This is like the front lens for the vehicle. I need to 3D design and print a second one of these. So difficulty might be trying to match up this radius on the back side and the radius on the front side, but I'll give it a try, and maybe, maybe after a couple prints I'll be able to reproduce this and make it almost identical. This was plastic injection molded. You can see by the ejector pin holes here. And yeah, so we're going to try to reproduce this. I have my back of the napkin sketch here. So I have my outer diameter. The outer diameter is 89 millimeters, and then I have the shape of the grill in the front. So I have those kind of sketched out here. And then I have the size of this piece right here, and the diameter of it. Let's throw this in OnShape and let's get started. All right, I'm gonna start off first by taking a picture of the lens in the top view, and then I will send that picture to my email. All right, so I have emailed this to myself and opened it, and now I will import this into OnShape and then basically trace this design out, and then I can extrude these small little pieces right here. These are, I think, 6x12s. Yeah, 6x12. So I will first create this outer edge right here. I'll do some tracing and then we can build these, but I know the overall size is 89 millimeters. So let's put this in OnShape. All right, I have OnShape open, and I have this is a free subscription. I'm going to go to create, document. We're going to call this headlight. And I'm going to go to my top view right here, and I'm going to create a sketch on top. Let's put it on top. I'm going to drag that over here, and now I'm going to insert an image. I'm going to import that. Here is that image. I will open that, and I will click on it and click on that right there, and then I can drag it into position. After we import the image, now we get to scale it. So let's create 2 points, opposite edges of this. Hit D for dimension to get the distance between those, and we're going to put in 89 millimeters so it will scale it to that size. Next, we want to create a circle, and we create it about center, and we'll just kind of drag it out and go hover over that, type in 89, and that's our size right there. Now this doesn't match up perfectly because my image that I took is not perfectly dead on to the item. So that's why it looks a little skewed, and these look a little curved, okay? But we'll continue on with this. This should be fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and kind of just, let's hop out of that circle, unselect that. Now we can click this and hold it and drag it around and kind of match it to the best of what I think it looks like. Okay, that looks good. So now we're going to do finalize that. We're going to extrude that 2.5 millimeters. So let's go over to extrude, grab that guy. We're going to go 2.5 and green check. Now our sketch disappeared. We just click on this little eyeball, shows our sketch back. So now we need to create a little recess into there. So let's create a sketch on here, and we're going to create a recess using this circle. So we're going to hover there, and then it gives us a little point right there. So this one is, I'm going to measure this. It is 7 millimeters inside. So we're going to go with that 89. So we're going to hover or hover over that 89 minus 7. Okay, so it gives us that size right there. All right, so let's take that and extrude that. Finish that. Let's go with extrude. Clicking on that, and we'll go with that 2.5 millimeters. We know it's a little bit recessed, so we are actually going to do a like a 0.5 recess. And what we'll do is we'll go with remove, enter. Okay, so now we see that we have a small recess inside of there. Next, we could measure the total height of this. I'm gonna go with about 12 millimeters. I measured it from the back side to the very top of the lens, and I was getting about 12 millimeters. So I'm going to build a circle on this. And we're going to build it on this plane right here. So let's go do a sketch, front, and we're going to build that circle. And it's going to use 3 points. So point 1 is down here. We can do a use project. We're going to project this curve. Okay, and then we're going to use that guy right there. Find the edge of that. Find the other edge. It's thrown it way off. Right there's our line. That's the one we want. So we're going to go from here. Click there. All the way over here. And now we're going to... The distance... We don't care about what the radius is right second. What I want to know is the distance from the back side to here. So let's do a dimension from here all the way here, and we're going to put in 12. Green check. So that is our, that's how, what we're going to extend it to. So let's extrude this through there. Let's do a revolve. We're going to create a point right here, and then we're going to revolve that. I think that might be a great idea. So let's get back in that sketch 3. We're going to grab this line right here. We're going to find the center point of that. Go straight up, connect, L to get out of that. Now let's hit M. We're going to trim this side, trim that side, and then we're going to finish this sketch. Now we're going to do a revolve. We're going to revolve this along the axis of this. Now we got that shape we need. Now we're going to finish that. Green check. Now I'm going to take this and transport it over there. But let's first find a distance from that to this. And we have it in the, it's going in the Y direction right here. So let me click top. So this is my Y. So I'm going to go over here, right here, click there, left click, right click, copy that, close that out. Now we can do a transform. We have transform. We're going to, let's get rid of these two, it was selecting 2 parts. So let's go back to transform, grab that guy. We're going to do a translate X, Y, Z, paste. Now we're going to remove that negative right there in the very front of that. Say a green check. Okay, we can see it moved. Looking good. So now we can union those two together. So let's go over here to Boolean 1, union, tools. Click that guy, green check. Now they're back. They're union together. So we have the general shape of the lens now. Looks like we're going to have to put the opposite edge of that lens on the back side if we want to match this up. So let's go back to that revolve. And we can actually revolve. We can offset this edge right here. Let's go back there. Let's go back to that sketch. We can revolve just a layer of this. So we're going to do a offset. We're going to click on that guy, push him in, then we're going to click on that. And we're going to go with 2.5 millimeters. Green check, enter. Okay, so now we can do a trim. So M for trim. We can trim this edge right here, and we can trim this, and we can trim that. So it's still going to revolve against that, which is great. Green check. And now it revolved it, it transformed it, and it put it into position. Now it should be hollow actually. So let's take a look at a section view, and the section view should show us that it's hollow. So we're going to click on a plane, front plane, and then we can pull this little arrow right here, that little arrow right there, grab that, pull it in, and we could see that it is hollow. So what we can do now is we can do a replace face, grab this face right here and pull it through. So I'm going to go green check. So we're still in section view. Let's hide this sketch because it's distracting us. So yeah, we're going to click on that face and then replace it with the bottom one. So let's go do that. Replace face, click on this guy right here. Replace face with, rotate it, click on the back surface, green check, good to go. Look at that. All right, so we get the top of our lens now. Let's undo that selection. So turn off section view. Now we're back. Okay, go top view. Now we need to create our grid pattern. We could throw in sketch 1 to start our grid, but we can see that the picture kind of skewed it. So I measured these with my calipers. Each of those grid patterns is 12 by 6. So I'm going to start from the dead center and start building this kind of first one from dead center. And I'll do 3 and 3 on the side. So let's try that. Let's go with sketch. This surface, actually, we're going to choose top. So we create another sketch on top view, top, and then we can start that line. We're going to go with that line right. We want it dead center, pretty much. And let's get out of that. Let's pull this line, that little edge right there. We want to use that edge, kind of project it. So use that right there. Click on that edge right there. So it projected it. So now we can do an extend. Take this to that, and then that's what exactly we want. Green check. All right, so now that should be exactly in the center. We can fix this one right here. Let's do a trim. So M for trim. We're going to trim that back to that surface right there. All right, and now we're going to click on our line. So L for line, and we're going to do an offset of that by 3 millimeters. And then we can use this like it as a construction line. So what actually we can do offset. So this one, we do 3. Let's click on that guy 2 times, 3, enter, green check, enter. Do it again. This side 3. We're gonna flip it. Double click 3, enter. Left click, enter. Yeah, there we go. Now we can hit escape. Let's hit the middle mouse button, get out of that. Let's make this a construction line. So we're going to click on that and make it construction. Okay. And now we're going to take this line, these 2 lines, and continue and copy them. Okay. Let's get out of that. All right. So now I'm going to make this a linear pattern. First of all, I'm going to make this a construction. Let's click on that, hit construction. Okay. Let's get out of that. Let's go with a linear pattern here. Click in there. We're clicking this line and this line, and we want to go every 6 millimeters. And then how many times we want to do it? Let's try 6 times. And it looks like we want to do it 1 more, maybe 7. Let's click there, 7. All right, perfect. Green check. So that makes those go all the way over. And it made them all construction. We can fix that in a second. So, hey, no, they're not construction. Anyway, let's do it the other side. So let's do another linear pattern. We're going to grab this one and this one. We're going to flip it the other way. Click on that arrow. Click on this right here. So it's going to be 6 millimeters. And then we're going to do the amount is going to be 7. Perfect. Green check. All right, so green check, it kind of remembers it. Let's go back in there. All right, to do this one, we're going to do an offset. So let's go here, offset. Click there. We're going to click here. We're going to go with the 12 in the opposite direction. Okay. Green check. Now we can do that again. Enter. Offset again. Click there. 12. Left click, enter, and we may need 1 more, but I think that's it right there. Let's check. Offset that guy, flip, 12. All right, it's totally out, so we don't need to do that one. Escape to get out of that one. All right, so now we're going to do a mirror. So we're going to click mirror, select the mirror line, which is this guy, construction line right here. Entities to mirror. So we're not going to do the first one. We're going to click on the second, third, and we don't even need the 4th. All right, green check. That finishes it. So let's get back in there. So it's kind of like remembers that we finished it. So now we can do some trim. So M, we're going to start trimming the outside edges. We can trim that guy right there. And we gotta extend that guy, so X. Taking it to there. Okay. Checking over here. This looks good. Alright, so now we can finalize this. Now we should like extrude these as surfaces, and then we'll make them a little bit thick. So then we'll create a thickness of them. So now we're going to do an extrude of all of these vertical surfaces. So let's do extrude. Okay. We will subtract that out after. Green check. Now we're going to extrude the other surfaces. That's a construction line, so it's not extruding. I'll have to bring it back in a second. Green check. Actually, we don't even need it. We're good. Now we need to, we're going to see if we can thicken these. And I only want to thicken them 0.5. Selecting all of them. Green check. So all of them have a thickness of 0.5 now. Let's make that mid plane 0.5. So they should do, yeah, 0.25, 0.25 on each side. Green check. Now we will union all of those together. Let's highlight each one of those so they will become one part. We don't actually want it to stick to that one. Cool, perfect. So now we can get that geometry and then subtract out some of that geometry from these guys. So let's do that. Let's hide this part too. Now we're going to go in and create another geometry that's slightly smaller than this by about 0.5. So let's go do that. Let me go in that sketch. That one right there. Yep, perfect. So now we're going to create a new one based off of that one. So what I'll do is I'll show that sketch, and then I will start a new sketch on this plane. I will then project that line, and this line. I'm projecting those onto the new sketch, and now I want to uncheck that guy, and now I want to offset. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to double click on that guy. I'm going to put 0.5. I'm going to flip it. There we go. Green check. And now we can extrude. Let's hit a M. We're going to get back in there. We're going to go to M. Trim this guy. You can actually trim those too. It remembers it. Green check. Now we're going to revolve this. So let's go with revolve. That we're going to revolve it around the axis of this. Created a new solid. Okay, green check. Now we're going to bring in our other part 2. Transform that to the same location, and that location was the same as this transform, so we can just hover over that, copy, and then we can do a transform. That guy, he's going to transform XYZ. We're going to go up, paste, green check. He moved in, so we got those 2 parts. Now we got to do a subtraction of those 2 parts. Our target is going to be this guy. We want to keep that, and our tool is this guy right there. Green check. Now we have where it's hitting. Okay, Now we're gonna bring in part 1, and we're gonna do a subtraction out of part 1. So let's go with the Boolean subtract. This time we're gonna keep this. So this is our target. This is our tool. Green check. Let's see what it did. Looks great, except for a couple little areas right here. Looks goofy there. This sketch 5. I'm going to fix that sketch 5. But this time I'm going to take it all the way down. I'm going to build like a rectangle from here to here. And trim, so M, trim all that. Trim that. So now, and then trim this. So now it should take and extend this. Nope, that's okay. I think there's a line already there. Let's check. I think it's good. Control Z to get rid of that point. Let's see what happens when we did that. Green check. Did that fix it? Nope. Alright, so next we're going to go back and sketch 5 again. And we're going to make it even longer. So let's make this deeper. Like that, that's fine. M, trim. We're trimming this guy. Trim that. Perfect. Green check. Nearly perfect. We just gotta figure out what's doing right at those ends. Maybe I need, oh, I think I know what I gotta do. Just pull this down. M, trim. Green check. How's that look? I think that's what we want. All right, so yeah, just trimming that, pulling that back, fixed it. All right, let's hide the sketch. Sketch 1, hide. Looks like we got, do we have the shape we want? Yeah, I think so. Section view. Yep, that's it. Perfect. So now we need to create a piece on the very bottom. All right, we can, so that bottom piece on our sketch, it was 9.56. I'm just going to go with 9.5 from dead center. And total, it has an inner diameter of 6 millimeters. So we're just going to click on bottom. We're going to click sketch. That guy right there. It's the top view. Back side of the top view. We're going to click on like the circle. We want to see the circle. Yeah, we want to see that circle right there. Right there. Perfect. Now we want to click and we want to just hover over that number right there. We're going to put it on our 9.56. Okay, and then we're going to click on that one more time. Click it there. And we're going to go with that 6 millimeter. All right, green check. Now we can take that and pull it off. So let's go with extrude. We're going to take this sketch 6. We can just click on that. We're going to click on solid. All right, sketch 6. So it just undid it. So it's pushing it through the other way. We actually want to flip it. And we want to go with the starting offset. And we're going to go with this entity as our starting offset. And then going all the way up 22.5. So from the bottom of this to here should be 22.5. Let's put in that. Green check. Now it's not going down to that surface like I wanted to. Green check. All right, so let's go fix that extrude. Fix that. Depth of, let's say this is 15. We can adjust this guy. Ten. All right, just from playing around, I think we got it. Let's put a little radius on this inner edge right here. And check. All right, looks like we're good there. And there we are. Took a little while, but we figured it out. Creating these little edges was fairly complex. Creating this surface was complex, and yeah, we had to figure out how to do the offset. So, but yeah, we got through it. Persistence always pays off. This is the original lens, and now we're gonna show the first try. First try, I just simply tried to print it on the very bottom using a small little broom, and it totally failed. Just print like that, so toss that one. Second one, I added a huge brim to it, okay, and I added sports, and peeling that off was extremely difficult, and left some really bad lines in there, and made it difficult to remove that. So okay, but it can be done better. So the last one I have is right here, and it actually stands up by itself. That's how I printed it. Okay, pretty good. And let's look at the quality of it. The quality looks really nice. So let's get the original. Now you can tell this one is not see-through, but I could make that one a little thicker. I can make it more infill, but yeah, I think did a real good job. Let's see how it feels when I take off the supports. So let's check the back. That. It's gonna take off the supports now, though I have made like just a little ramp right here, and there's a 0.5 separation inside of here, so it should snap off fairly easy. Should not be holding on, but it feels like it is. And then this, peel this off. So that just comes right off. Okay, and now we'll try to break it up. Oh, that breaks off really nice and easy. Let's look at the inside finish. There is no line there whatsoever. That's awesome. So that was sitting there, just snapped right off. No line because it's not even touching. It's 0.5, and the only thing that we can see that's a little tiny line is probably right there. But I mean, it did really good. So overall, you can definitely tell the difference between one and the other one. But I can definitely clean up this stuff. Okay, that looks good. I'll just get a knife out and clean that up. But anyway, let's take a look at these. So really good representation of it. This one looks actually really nice. It's got the shininess going on. It's pretty much the same identical size. So there we are. We cloned the piece, 3D printed and cloned, and I can make it just a little bit thicker. Infill is just changed infill, but actually it's got some strength to it, so I don't think it's going to be any issues. If I print 2 of these, the owner would never know. They'd probably never think about that being 3D printed. So, all right. Hope that gets you out there and starts making some 3D printed vintage parts and finding replacement parts for your long lost items. So, thanks for watching. Bye.